Going to be getting a close-up view of Atlantis. We have a new video showing you the very first flights of the shuttle and the last. Some kids that are looking forward to space flight too. We can stay here with them. Since we're running early. Yeah. 4 minutes.
Thousands coming to view the launch. The troubles began early this morning. The roads leading to the Space Center were jammed hours before the scheduled liftoff.
These people were here because they believe in the shuttle, and they wanted to show it.
This is being made. I want to be right there. Well, being made. Well, I'd like to be an astronaut, but I think I want to encourage him. I'd be scared to go up there right now.
Nothing more wants to put in and everyone that this is exciting, but this means more to me than any other, I think.
What does it mean to me? I heard opening up for the new world.
I literally think since the shuttle was invented, people, they thought it was like revolutionary and big, and it's definitely helped us to build ISS, and I'm kind of sad to see they're retiring it. I mean, I always loved to watch on TV when they first started, when they shot them in the air. I've always been fascinated with rockets, but shuttles, they just really excel me.
I believe that the Space Shuttle program is one of the most significant engineering feats that the United States has ever been involved in. The opportunity to go to the launch site and at KSC and see a launch is the most memorable experience I've ever had. It is an awesome experience.
When you explore, you're always looking forward. You're always looking at what's next instead of just where you've been. What the shuttle brought, I always felt that Apollo was something science fiction to it. It was a spaceship that you could fly and land, and there was something very romantic about landing a ship rather than parachuting down in the water, and I think that captivated people.
I think it's been radio to America, and allows us to be the first people to explore the world and to be the leaders to tell the rest of the world about what's going on in outer space, and to let us know that it's bigger than this.
It was like a great experience. We got to explore, a lot out of space about what we don't know. So
it's been a new continent for America. It's been a chance for us to continue kind of the American dream of reaching into new land, and given us hope of being able to continue spreading out through the universe.
I would like to see if we can maybe explore one of the gas giants.
I would like to go to Mars.
Neptune. I want to go to Mars. I want to journey to Mercury. Mars. I want to orbit the Earth.
Magnificent spacecraft I'm privileged to get closer than virtually anyone who will be around her, except those working on her to get her ready to fly again. And with Atlantis 126 million miles behind her, we'll be heading off there now. Now, since the vehicle assembly building itself is still an active NASA building, we're reworking the high bays where shuttles were put together for that future big rocket. NASA drew up some rules, regulations they want us to read. And they say, please stay together, remain with the group at all times. Parents, keep your children close to you inside the VAB and hold younger children by the hand. Always keep your special interest tour stickers visible for the security guards. Now, there are no restrictions on photography. Flash is okay, but please do not photograph the security guard area or the guards themselves. While we're in the VAB, you must stay within the marked barriers at all times. With no food, guns, smoking materials, or drinks permitted in the VAB, and please no backpacks or large camera bags. You can leave them on the bus. Now, the Space Launch System that's being developed by NASA is really a big, powerful rocket derived from shuttle components. Engineers love equipment they know backwards, forwards, been using a long time. We were flying shuttles over 30 years. On the back of the orbiter, those 3 engines, when you fire them, you get about 1 million pounds thrust. After landings, they were taken out, cleaned up, used over and over. We have about 19 of those set aside. The solid boosters have 4 fuel sections apiece. If you could fire 1 booster, that would give you about 3 million pounds thrust. You don't have to rush too much. So imagine the external fuel tank stretched out to hold more fuel, putting 5 shuttle engines underneath it, adding 2 boosters, but with 5 fuel sections apiece. Like that, and you come up with a rocket with about 9.2 million pounds of thrust.
Wow.
The Saturn V, still the most powerful rocket ever flown, only had 7.5 million pounds thrust. And since we're familiar with the parts, we're hoping for a test flight in about 4.5 years from Pad B, people following perhaps a year later. Do a little test. One of the shakedown ideas for a flight would be duplicating Apollo 8, flying to the moon, getting in orbit, coming back home and through the atmosphere. Some of the more practical flights, of course, to the moon's surface. Also building a Mars craft in Earth orbit with the heavy lift capabilities. One of my favorite, probably one of the easier ones, flying to an Earth-passing asteroid. We have one of these go zipping by about 3 times a year between the Earth-Moon system. A couple weeks ago, we had one go by 27,000 miles off our surface, about the size of a stadium. We could land on it, see what it was made of, maybe see if we could push it out of the way a bit. So if we get a really big one heading towards us, we wouldn't wind up like the dinosaurs. Or even Bruce Willis. Yeah, that was filmed out here too. Virtually everything out here dates to Apollo. The 2 launch pads will go around. The big gray platforms will show you that launched shuttles used to launch Saturn V's. And of course our 2 crawler transporters that move the craft out. One of the 2 is being upgraded for that bigger, heavier rocket in the VAB using the cranes in there. The other one we'll leave as is. It's parked outside. We'll go past it. In front to the left, the space station processing facility, really the most modern clean room we have. I'm sure we'll reuse this. The tall section of the back, the clean room itself. Beyond it, though, the white clean room from Apollo already reworked for the Orion multi-purpose crew module that'll go on top of the rocket. And inside the VAB, NASA's been putting together a full-scale mock-up of the command and service module. It'll be on display when Atlantis moves, and it's on a 28-wheeled command transporter from Germany. The Ferrari beats it by having 40 wheels. Now the next roadway to the left ahead of us is where the Astrovan would leave with the astronauts on launch day for the pad. We'll take that same route. What would be going through your mind, knowing in 3.5 hours from now you'd be blasting off the Earth? Maybe I shouldn't have had that last cup of coffee. Now the burned areas off on the sides of the roads were from controlled burns we did some months ago to get the underbrush in the soil. So if there'd be a wildfire, say from a lightning strike, it wouldn't have all that fuel to burn out of control. A little bit of rain, it comes back. When we make the turn up here, though, we'll be heading towards one of the largest buildings in the world by volume. Not many square buildings around, hard to tell how big it is, so we'll give you numbers, comparisons with the flag. When we drive around it later, we'll show you some human doorways that really look like mouse holes. But being still the largest one-story building anywhere, when we go in, don't forget to look up and get dizzy.